Hi everyone, my name is Gabby. I'm a MNsure navigator at Minnesota Legal Aid. Today I'm going to talk about reporting changes after you enroll into medical assistance, also known as MA or MinnesotaCare. We'll go over when you need to update information, why it's important, and what can happen if you don't. So reasons you may need to provide updated information. Enrollees may be required to report information or provide verifications on things impacting their ongoing eligibility, reasons, reasonable opportunity periodic data matching discrepancies, also known as PDMs, duty to report, inconsistent information received by agency. So this can happen for a few reasons. The agency needs to double check your information. Their records don't match what you're reporting, or you have a responsibility to report these changes yourself. Also, if you don't send updates when needed, you could lose your health coverage. So, what is reasonable opportunity period, also known as ROP? So this is the time you must provide documents verifying some of the information that you put in your application. So you usually have 90 days to send proof of things like your social security number, citizenship or immigration status, income, if it's for MinnesotaCare. And again, eligibility will end if verifications are not provided. Periodic data matching, also known as PDM. What is this? So it's a process that uses electronic data sources to identify public program enrollees who may no longer meet eligibility criteria for MA or MinnesotaCare. The electronic data sources used for the PDM provides information about enrollees' household members. So they may check things like your income, whether you have Medicare Part A, if someone in the household has passed away. This check usually happens once during your year of coverage. So PDM, notice of discrepancy. So this is a notice sent when the electronic data doesn't match what the enrollee has previously reported. So you'll receive that notice. You have 30 days to fix this issue. So one of the major or common discrepancies is income. So an income-related PDM discrepancy is considered resolved when the agency receives an attestation of current household income from the enrollee. Verifications is required if the income on the notice is incorrect. So for example, they might also need just proof of the income, so you can submit pay stubs, a letter from your employer, or also tax returns. Medicare Part A discrepancy. So Medicare Part A is considered resolved when an enrollee confirms having Medicare Part A or attests that he or she does not have Medicare Part A. Another common discrepancy is the death discrepancy. So it's considered resolved when the death is either confirmed or denied by the household. A very common mistake that many enrollees do is on the application when because the birth date and the question of date of death are right next to each other, they might put their date of birth same day as date of death. So then that's when the death discrepancy pops up, and that's when you receive a notice, just trying to see if this is correct. People who fail to resolve and don't respond in time can lose their eligibility, not just for MA or MinnesotaCare, but also for other health coverage programs. So it is important to make resolve these issues as soon as possible. So, duty to report changes. All MA and MinnesotaCare enrollees have a legal obligation to report any changes in their household that could impact their eligibility, such as changes in who lives in your household, including household members moving in or out, births, deaths, marriages, just so that household composition can be correct. So newborns can be added, possibly also gain that coverage. Household tax filing and tax dependent status, access to other health insurance, including Medicare, pregnancies, address, just so you can receive those notices at the correct address. Any income, it does determine your due to the income limit, assets when applicable, and immigration status. So in case you just received a new immigration status, just being able to report that and possibly being able to gain that coverage as well. I do want to go back to this. And for MA, it's important to report within 10 days. MinnesotaCare, it's important to report within the 30 days. So just wanted to highlight that as well. Other inconsistent information. So the county or DHS, also known as the Department of Human Services, may request information if they receive other inconsistent information. So you'll receive a notice listing the information the agency needs. Deadlines, it's important to provide those verifications, documents before the deadline, just so, again, coverage won't end. I want to remind you that Project CARE is a team of certified navigators. All our services are free. Bilingual navigators and interpreters are also available. And there are many appointments, different options for appointments, for example, in person, by phone, or virtual. We do prefer in-person appointments just because it's better for the client and that navigator to, build that relationship and build that trust, so they can have that trust and doing that, completing the application or submitting any verifications. So best way to contact us to schedule your appointment is that number there below. Also, you can email the Project CARE email. Also, appointments in person are available in those towns and cities right there. Any questions? So, first question is, what happens if you do not report or respond to notices? Like I've mentioned, you could lose your health coverage. You may not qualify for MA or MinnesotaCare or other programs until the issue is fixed. How long do you have to report changes in your household? You do have 10 days to report and make those changes. If you have medical assistance, and you can report that to your county that your case belongs to, or if it's MinnesotaCare, you do have within 30 days to report that. Okay. I did also want to highlight, it's always important to open your mail, read notices carefully, and respond on time. Just staying on top of your information just helps protect your coverage. So just taking a moment to read that. And if you don't know what it means, please feel free to reach out to our office and one of our navigators can help you. But yeah, that should be it for this presentation. Thank you so much for attending. And if you have any more questions, please send them through a message privately. Thank you. Bye.